Pope John Paul II was born under the name Karl. He later moved to Krakow, Poland, to study poetry and theater in college. When he was young, he was very athletic, interested in skiing and swimming. In his college years, he had to practice in an underground seminary because of the Nazi takeover in Poland. Later, he became an advocate in the community for the religion because the Nazis would not allow his church and religion to go on because it was against the Nazi policy. After World War II ended, he finished his religious studies in Krakow and was later ordained a priest and then a cardinal, and then he was voted bishop and then archbishop and then pope. This was a big deal because he was the first non-Italian pope for 50 years. And it was a big deal in my family because he was Polish, and I am fourth Polish, and my grandmother was full Polish. So it was good to have an advocate and a pope who was the same religious as we are. He made a lot of firsts, such as the first pope to go skiing. He was just a revolutionary pope. That's why I like that time period. I can still remember the day that he died. My mom saying, "Remember this day, Sarah. This is the day that history was made."
Pope Benedict was born in 1927 in Germany. In Germany, he was put into an organization called Hitler Youth, but was a very unenthusiastic member. His full name is Joseph Aloysius Ratzinger, and he is the 265th Pope. Pope Benedict was inaugurated after the death of Pope John Paul II.
Sancte Barnaba, Santa Maria Magdalena, Sante Leo Magne, Sante Gregori Magne.
Pope Benedict is most famously known for his resignation, which was the first one since Pope Gregory in 1415. The reason he resigned is because he was too poor of health from being old. He was almost 86 years old and the fourth oldest pope in history.
Joins us in studio, Vision Plus, with the details.
That is a big question for 4 million Catholics right here in Los Angeles and lots of Catholics all across the world. Who will be the replacement to Pope Benedict? A big question. As we try to answer the question, can the Pope even really authentically resign? There's a lot of questions surrounding the terminology resignation because a lot of folks who actually study the Pope in the Vatican say it's more of an abdication. He can leave the actual position but not actually resign. The first Pope to do it was back, actually the last Pope to do it was Gregory back in 1406, more than 600 years ago, and he did it in order to end the Western Schism. That's when the actual Catholic Church actually split into 3 different churches. The first Pope to do it was Pope Celestine back in 1294. He resigned only after 5 months as Pope. Then he lived as a hermit, we're told, for about 2 years before he was canonized as a saint. He's the actual one that actually wrote a decree that allowed the Pope to resign or leave office. He did that in 1294. Now, canon law says a Pope can actually leave office as if it's made freely and it's manifested properly. That's the only extent of the actual language in canon law that refers to the Pope leaving office alive. Now, the question about resignation, the reason why there's a question about resignation and abdication is that who does he assign his resignation letter to? No one quite knows. Is it the church, the College of Cardinals, or is it to the world? There was no person on the resignation announcement that he announced earlier today, so a lot of people are questioning that. Now, we're told that John Paul II, the Pope prior to Benedict, actually wrote 2 resignation letters when he was 75 years old and 80 years old in case of incurable diseases. He actually never used those letters. As we all know, he passed away while he was
Pope Francis's papacy began on March 13, 2013, after Pope Benedict XVI resigned from his position. Pope Francis was born on December 17, 1936, and is currently age 77, and he comes from the country Argentina. Pope Francis is a Jesuit, which is a strict Roman Catholic order of priests. It's also known as the Society of Jesus. Pope Francis chose his name in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi because he was especially concerned for the well-being of the poor, just as the saint was. Pope Francis is still very popular among Catholics after a year of being pope and is seen as a positive force within the Catholic Church. More than 80% of Catholics think that he's a positive change for the Church. But why do they feel like this? Many think that it's because he truly lives out a Catholic lifestyle and acts as Jesus did. He does this by not having overly fancy things and donates as much money and time as possible to help the poor. He's even been seen sneaking out of the Vatican at nights to help the poor in the streets. This clip shows the life he lived as a humble bishop before he became pope.
This is the 70. This is the bus that Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio took on various occasions, once or twice a month, to do Mass in some of the poor neighborhoods. We're going to head to Via 2124, Villa 2124. The bus driver says he's heard about that austere cardinal who would take a seat in his simple black shirt and priest's collar. The man who's now Pope Francis was a champion of the poor, but he also lived the life. When he was named Archbishop in Buenos Aires, he refused to go live in the official residence. He wanted to stay in his small apartment. And the same goes for the limousine and driver. He preferred public transportation. And this is the bus he continued to take even after he became Archbishop to give Mass, to celebrate Mass in this shanty town.
The first March for Life, which was founded by Nellie Gray, was held on January 22, 1974, on the west steps of the Capitol, and an estimated of 20,000 supporters in attendance. During the 33rd annual March for Life in 2006, the nominee of Judge Samuel A. Alito to the Supreme Court case a major positive shift because of the exponential that Alito would win Senate approval and join a majority in overturning Roe. Although the time of the 37th annual March for Life in 2008, a Gottschalk Institution report was released, which revealed the number of abortions performed in the United States dropped to 1.2 million in 2005. There was the lowest level of abortion since 1976. Although this seemed like a victory, many marchers were stressed that the figures were not large enough declined. Many marchers said that they would not stop protesting until abortion was illegal. During the 2009 March for Life, the threat of passage by the 111th United States Congress of the Freedom of Choice Act, a bill that would confine Roe v. Wade by declaring a fundamental right to abortion and lifting many restrictions on abortion, served as a key rally point because pro-lifers worried that the legislature would eliminate certain abortion restrictions like parental notification for minors and repeal the Parent Birth Abortion Ban Act. For years and years, phrase on site at the march had included we choose life, end abortion now. Your mom chooses life, give life, don't take it. Stop abortion now, defend life. Women deserve better than abortion. Michigan loves our pro-life president. Respect life. Diocese of Pittsburgh. Abortion kills. Stop unborn child abuse and equal rights for unborn women. Other compare abortions to Hitler's Others compare abortion to Hitler. Many sing and chant phrases such as pro-choice, that lies a baby never chooses to die.